Hey, hello, and welcome back to day one, part two of 100 Days of Clarity. We're in the middle of installing our software, and as you can see on the screen here, um, we have our command line permissions installed. So we're going to go ahead now and try installing Clarinet. Okay, so to do that, guys, go ahead and open up any browser. I guess we'll use Safari here. And go ahead and search for something called Clarinet and then type in stacks and then GitHub. Go ahead and click on the first link. It should say Hero System / Clarinet like it does here. And I'm going to open this further. Yeah, actually, here's the about. Clarinet is a simple and modern opinionated runtime for testing, integrating, and deploying Clarity smart contracts. Yeah, so it's exactly what we need. If you scroll down at some point, it should give you instructions, installation. Awesome. Okay. So install on macOS Homebrew. As you guys can see, to install Clarinet on macOS, we need to run the following command: brew install Clarinet. So this is your first, if this is again day one of programming, what are you looking at here? Brew is a package manager for Apple that helps you manage packages such as Clarinet, etc., at the package or local level for your computer. Sometimes your Mac has this out of the box. Sometimes it doesn't. We're gonna find out right now if this one does. Again, I'm doing this on a completely new computer on purpose. I want to run into the same mistakes that you guys might run into. So I'm going to go back here, brew install Clarinet, enter. Command not found, brew. Cool, so brew is not installed on this system. So to fix that, as you would guess, we're going to go ahead, open up a new tab here, and let's look up brew install Mac. Okay, and as you can see, the first link, brew.sh, the missing package manager for Apple, install Homebrew, and instructions here. Paste this macOS terminal. Paste this in a macOS terminal. Cool. So we're gonna copy this, go to our terminal, and install this, and press enter. Okay, we're getting something called checking for sudo access. Whenever you're trying to run something in a terminal that might affect your entire computer, it requires admin permissions, as it should. And so when you see anything that says checking for sudo access, password key, it's just asking for your computer password. So whatever that is, go ahead, type that in. And we should be good now. Press return, enter to continue. Okay, yeah, we want to continue. And we now have Homebrew installing. Again, the only reason we're installing a package manager so that it can help us install another package, which is the Clarinet package. As this is happening, I guess let's talk about IDEs. Again, integrated development environments. It's where you actually will type in your code, not your terminal, but actual code, your actual Clarity code. And if you just go to Google, if you go to, again, we're using Chrome here, I guess. If you just look up most popular IDEs, you would get a list of a ton of them, right? So Visual Studio, Eclipse, NetBeans, Xcode, again, the Apple one, Atom, etc., etc. We're going to use one called Visual Studio Code, made by Microsoft. And I'm not sure if we should be downloading this while installing Homebrew, but I don't think it'll make a difference. So let's go ahead and we'll start setting this one up. So we're going to download Mac Universal for Visual Studio Code. And again, I'm trying to refrain from pausing and continuing if downloading things takes a while, but obviously if these things take 5-10 minutes, it also doesn't make sense to continue recording while it's happening. Yeah, Homebrew is looking like it's gonna take a while. Yeah, I guess, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pause for now, and we'll come back in a minute or two when this is done, downloading. Okay, cool. And now if it looks like if we go to our terminal, we look at the Homebrew installation, it is completed. However, we see a dreaded red message. Again, that's not really fun to see. And, well, again, I wanted an error to happen to show you guys how to deal with it. So let's see what we get here. Sometimes, these terminal errors are nice enough that they give us a next step. So we see here, run these 3 commands in your terminal to add Homebrew to your path. You know what? Maybe we might not even need these. Let's first try installing Clarinet and see what happens. Another shortcut here for the keyboard, for using the terminal. If you press up on the up arrow or on the down arrow, it will cycle through previous commands. So we can actually go back up to brew install Clarinet and command not found. So that installation did not completely work. So let's go and debug. Let's test out what they try here. So first, copy paste these commands. So we're going to copy this first one, paste. We're going to copy the second one, paste, and we're going to copy this third one. Nothing's happening so far, and I don't like that. Paste. Cool, nothing happened, so that has me kind of bearish, but let's see what happens. We're going to run same command, brew install Clarinet. Oh, okay. All green text. We got no error messages. We have Clarinet installed. Excellent. Cool. As I told you before, Clarinet is really the only thing you need to really, really start learning Clarity. And to prove that, I'm actually, since we're running close on time on this video as well, I'm actually going to quickly set up a Clarity project. This just, to show you guys that this is the only thing you need. And I'm going to install an IDE, and we'll probably call it a day there, because I think, installing NPM, installing Node, and installing Stack CLI tool, again, they're extras. They're not necessary, so I might just make that another video. Cool. Right now, as you saw, we now know how to go into a folder. We're going to go ahead into Documents. And then let's go ahead and we're going to create a new folder. And you create a new folder. Again, we could go to the Finder and just create new, but since we're using the command line, you might as well learn. The keyword mkdir stands for make directory. And so if you type in mkdir and then the name of the directory, it'll fill it in. We're going to go ahead and say mkdir GitHub. Then we're going to go into that folder, so cd GitHub, and then make another folder called Clarity. And then we're going to cd into Clarity. Okay, so now that we are in Clarity, I want to show you guys how you can start your very first Clarinet project. Go ahead and type in Clarinet new 100 days of Clarity. I'm going to write V. Feel free to do that or not. Clarinet new 100 days of Clarity. Press enter. Press N if you want to share your data. Press yes. And as you can see, we created a ton of directories and a ton of files. On your on your terminal, if you press ls, you see 100 days of Clarity V. You can cd into that. 100 days of Clarity V. And if you cd in there and you run ls again, we can see a file called clarinet.toml and 3 directories: contracts, settings, and tests. If we cd into contracts and ls, we'll see that there's nothing there. So what we're going to do is, and actually I'm going to show you guys on the Finder here as well, so you can see how neat this is. We're going to go to Documents, and we're going to go to GitHub. Clarity, contracts. Okay, cool. Now on this terminal, in 100 Days of Clarity V, I want you to run clarinet contract. So instead of just clarinet new, clarinet contract new, clarity basics I. And if you go ahead and press enter, you'll see that it created 2 files. And if you look in the Finder here, it indeed created a file called clarity-basics-i.clair, short for clarity. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to finalize our Visual Studio installation, which we almost did, and open up our file, and that's it. Call it a day for today. So you see that installation, relatively painless. We're opening up Visual Studio Code. And all you're going to do here is explore, open folder, and just find the folder that we just made. So it should be in Documents, in GitHub, in Clarity, 100 Days of Clarity. Let's go ahead and open that. Yes, trust the authors, etc., etc. And if you open up this contracts screen, you can indeed, and you press into Clarity Basics 1, you can indeed see that this file opens. However, it's in black and white. And again, I chose this specific IDE because there is an extension that the same company that made Clarinet uses for the IDE. So we're actually going to search in the marketplace here, and you should find one that says Clarity by the same company, Hero Systems. We're going to install that. And if we go back to our Clarity file, we actually can now see that it's highlighted green. It's highlighting that these are comments in Clarity. And we can see at the bottom right, Clarity is signed. So we're going to go ahead and stop for now. I'm running short on time and on memory here. And I do want to say, though, this is all you need to continue with the course moving forward. If you have Clarinet running and if you have an IDE set up like this, doesn't even have to do Visual Studio, and you don't need this extension. But if you just have Clarinet and an IDE ready to go, you're good to move on to day 2. If you want to install one more tool set that we'll use maybe once out of every 15 or 20 videos, then go ahead and watch the part 3 to this. If not, tomorrow I invite you back and we are going to kick off our first real day of programming. So congratulations. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you tomorrow.